Hey everyone, it's Mike from Air Raid Attack Podcast. Let me talk to you for just 1 minute. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain to you in 5 simple steps. Number 1, it's free. Number 2, there is creation tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Number 3, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Number 4, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Number 5, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So, how do you sign up? It's simple. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Enjoy the show. Welcome to another episode of the Air Raid Attack Podcast. I'm your host, Michael. As always, listen to us on the Unhinged Sports Network and also listen to us on iTunes and iHeartRadio. However, I got a good buddy of mine. You guys should know him very well, Mr. Clyde Butler. Clyde, what's going on, my man?
I am not road raging yet, but I am driving a big Mack dump truck through Denver during rush hour traffic. So other than that, everything's great, man.
So speaking of, I've never driven through Denver, especially during rush hour. How's rush hour? I mean, obviously, I'm not for sure of how far out you've traveled rest of the country-wise during rush hour, but how is your guys' rush hour traffic?
Okay, so the worst rush hour traffic in the United States of America is Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is the worst. So on a scale of 0 to Atlanta, we're like right in the middle of that. So not terrible. Not terrible.
What you're telling me is that I can pass and won't be with trouble?
As I say that, we're coming to a standstill. So. Yeah. No, this is a good reason. This is the reason why I chose this hour, because I knew I would be in rare form right now, because I never swear in traffic, and I never, ever, ever cuss. So, this will be perfect.
Well, I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try my best to continue that trend, and make sure that you don't ever cuss, and that you don't get too mad.
Oh, I'm all right. I do it a lot, so it's all good.
But now everybody that's catching up, of course, Clyde's been on the last, I think, 2 or 3 shows. It's been a while. Of course, I've been swamped with life and work and all that fun stuff. But first things first, your thoughts. Adam Vinatieri announces his retirement. Of course, in my opinion, one of the greats. I'm not for sure if you would put him number 1, but where would you put Adam Vinatieri, Clyde, in your top all-time kickers?
All right. Well, first of all, is Adam Vinatieri the last one to know that he retired? Because I think that he's been retired since like 2019. Let's be fair.
Exactly. His skills are kind of getting whacked, but correct.
A little bit whacked. No, he's the best. He's the greatest of all time, man. You can't argue with him. Who are you going to put ahead of Adam Vinatieri?
Would you go Morten Andersen?
I don't know who Morten Andersen is. Was he the fella that kicked for the Saints like when I was like 7?
I think so. What about Sebastian Janikowski? We all know him.
Oh, Sebastian. He was.
I forgot.
He's the greatest character as a kicker.
Yeah, he was.
if you if you had a kicker that you were afraid was going to go ahead and get drunk, it would either be Matt Prater or Janikowski. Janikowski kicked several games drunk. That's not. I'm just saying that. I don't know that to be true. I just know that it's true.
Yeah, I'm not old enough to
something else.
I'm not old enough to, of course, I don't think I ever recall Morton Anderson play. I mean, obviously he played. I'm 33 years old. I don't think I ever seen him play, but maybe I did. I just really don't remember it. But
I'm pretty sure I saw Morton Anderson play. He's a kicker. If you're gonna rank kickers, you gotta put the guy that looks like Santa on the top of the list. So I'm gonna go with Vinatieri's the greatest kicker of all time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and talk, kickers all day long, but where would you put Jason Elam at?
He's probably the best kicker in Broncos history.
Oh, by far, yeah. I still think had Matt Prater stay with the Broncos, I still think you could have contested Elam and Prater. Not really?
No way, man.
I miss Elam. Do you think he can come back and kick for us still?
I wouldn't know.
I like Brandon McManus, but I'm just kind of you never know.
No, Jason Elam was clutch, man. That guy was he was awesome. I would say that Prater never won a championship, man.
No,
you got to win championships. And Jason Elam was a way underrated factor in the Denver Broncos offense.
Oh, absolutely.
For a lot of years. I say he was an offensive weapon. I say that he was an offensive player. Obviously, he's a special teams player, but he was offensive in the way that he kicked because once you got within the 40-yard line that you could kick a field goal and probably make it. And he was that clutch. So I mean, you get 2 or 3 first downs with that offense. John Elway and Terrell Davis and Shannon Sharp converting 2 or just 3 first downs. You had 3 points on the board. So Jason Elam, he was dope.
No, it's I'm happy to see Vinatieri finally retire. Of course, I do remember when he started with the Patriots way back in the early 2000s, and of course, early 2020s now, and he was still kicking, but nonetheless, obviously a Hall of Famer. I don't know if I would put him first ballot, but definitely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I don't know if you can put a kicker on first ballot, can you? But if you could,
I
wouldn't know. Be your guy, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, now, Grant, do you think Calvin Johnson should have been first ballot? See, I don't think he should have been.
Ooh, why not?
I mean, numbers were there. I just thought, I just didn't think he was first ballot material, but obviously they thought otherwise. But I just, I don't know. I just wasn't really, obviously talent-wise was there. He's got the numbers to back it up. I just was hoping, I mean, granted, it's the Lions, but I really was hoping he would have stuck out and played a few. I still think he left the game early, though.
Well, superstars in Detroit kind of have a tendency of doing that, right?
Unless you're Barry Sanders, and then we'll just completely walk away.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I think it has something to do with the organization, and the organization is not very good there.
No.
So to have a superstar like that, to go to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot, that says something about Calvin Johnson. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. What did he play? 9 years? 10 years?
I believe so, yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one to say first ballot. And he never didn't even win a playoff game?
I don't think I think they made it once in the playoffs, maybe?
And I mean, they might have gone to the playoffs a couple times, but I don't
Maybe.
think they ever won one.
No, oh
They never,
Lord, no. Mm-mm.
they never even won a wild card game.
They haven't won since God knows when.
It's hard for listen. I'm a homer. I'm a Denver Bronco homer,
Well, so
and
am I. Yeah.
and Rod Smith to me was a better receiver than
Oh, 100 times. Yeah.
I wouldn't say 100, but I could make the argument that his longevity and his championships and what he brought to the team, he to me is a Hall of Famer if there ever was one. And I don't to not put Rod Smith in the Hall of Fame, but put Calvin in first ballot. That's a tough pill to swallow, man.
Well, here's another one for you, which I thought, and this is kind of why I thought, obviously I'm not a voter, so I don't know what they all vote on, but I mean, obviously he's got the numbers, the stats, I should say. But my thing is, why isn't Isaac Bruce? Now, one of them's in, I believe, maybe not both of them. Is it Holt that's in and Bruce isn't, or is it Bruce that's in, or neither of them are in?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I can't either. To me, it seems like Torrey Holt is the Hall of Famer in that group, but Isaac Bruce was pretty dope too.
Well, and they may not both be, they may not even be in. I don't remember. It's been a minute, but talk about the greatest show on turf. I thought those two, not first ballot by any means, but I thought by now they at least should have been in. So my case was, you had these two, whether good, great receivers, whether or not you want to consider them best of all time for St. Louis or /LA history or whatever. But I mean, my thing is if Calvin's in, at least these guys got to get in, because I mean, if it wasn't for them, Falk and Warner, of course, and
Orlando Pace.
Orlando Pace. Thank you very much. I knew I was missing one. I'm telling you that first of all, without Orlando Pace, Warner is nothing.
Well, I think see, like novice football fans look at those teams and say, okay, well, they had Warner, they had Falk, and they had the receiving core. That's what made that show go. But the reality is that they needed time to throw the ball deep.
Yep.
And without Orlando Pace, that thing is not the greatest show on turf.
No.
He's the catalyst of that whole team, in my opinion.
Well, it starts up front.
Yeah, they had a great offensive line, but man, Orlando Pace was so good.
Dude, Orlando Pace was great, man.
Yeah, he was just
that dude was a baller.
Baller, absolute baller, game changer.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, he's a.
I mean, ask Drew Lock with that offensive line. You're nothing.
Well, oh man, I was starting to warm up to Drew a little bit.
Oh, what made you warm up to him?
Season's over. I got it.
Is it the thought that we're not probably going to get Aaron Rodgers at this point?
Well, it's the thought that I don't know. I'm not so far down on him that I can't root for him to be our quarterback this year.
Speaking of Drew, I don't know if you saw that comment or not, but did you see his comment that he's looking forward to reading all these negative comments about him?
Yeah, some of them are going to be mine. He's going to read some of mine.
Yeah, he is.
Here's the thing. I don't think Drew Lock's going to read my comments and say what a total how off base I am. I don't think he can read what I've been critical of and say that I'm so far off base. I think that my criticism of Drew Lock, to me, like, look, I know everybody has an opinion and it's not always right factually, but to me, right. I think my opinion of Drew Lock is founded. has been founded on Twitter anyway.
Well, I'm very vocal about Drew Lock on Twitter. Of course, the one last tweet I said about Twitter, and the whole world ended up in the fire brimstone. But, Lord Jesus. But, I found out that us Broncos fans, one thing that we love to argue about is quarterbacks.
Well, we've been spoiled, man.
Yeah, we have.
Dude, somebody posted on Twitter the other day, John Elway throwing the rock to Rod Smith on his birthday. It was Rod Smith's birthday like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching highlights of Rod Smith, and dude, he's got a highlight reel, man. That is just
Rod Smith was good.
Rod has a dope highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
But look at the balls that he was getting thrown to him from John. John was so good, man. Oh my God, John Elway was so good. I forgot how good John Elway was, and just what an absolute laser beam he had for a right arm.
He had a laser on an arm, and people don't get. I mean, I get that, and people are like, well, he lost more Super Bowls than you won. Okay, well, cool. That's cool. I mean, if that's really what you're going to hang his head on, and go, so be it. But people really, I mean, from the Super Bowls, forget that. Just the talent in itself. I mean, I was watching film of the old AFC Championship game with the Browns. This dude from the 3-yard line just laser beam. This dude had an arm, and it was amazing.
It was amazing. And I grew up. That's who I idolized as a kid, right?
Oh, same here. I got John Elway stuff in here galore.
So I'm like, wow. And I just remember, I just forgot what that looks like. And as we all, and now the last 5 years, let's go back. Who has an arm like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. We were spoiled with John, and then we had a whole bunch of crap, and then we had Plummer and Greasy, I guess. Before that, Greasy wasn't bad either until he got hurt.
No, he was more injury prone. Jake Plummer, I still thought, was that the 05 team when we lost to the Steelers in the AFC Championship game?
Correct.
I still think that was the best non-Super Bowl team Denver had in quite some time.
Well, the 2012 team.
Before 2012, yeah, exactly. Well, 2012, if Raheem Moore would have covered well, we would have.
Dude, that hurts my feelings.
Yeah, I still can't talk about that game. I was so pissed off.
Dude, I was in Honduras. I think I told you this story. Did I tell you this story?
I don't think you did, no. Mm-mm.
So I was in Honduras during that game because my wife is from Honduras.
Right, I remember you saying that one, yeah.
Okay, so I'm in Honduras and I'm explaining so I'm watching the game in Spanish. I'm not very good at Spanish at the time. I can kind of carry on a conversation, but
right.
Trying to explain to my father-in-law and brother-in-law who don't know football at all about the Broncos, right? Because I'm a diehard Bronco fan, so I'm repping the Broncos in Honduras. So I'm like, we got to watch the Bronco game. So they're watching it with me. So I'm trying to explain to them what timeouts are and that the Ravens don't have any timeouts. I'm trying to explain that I'm watching the ball. It comes down, and it's a touchdown, and I throw my hat, and I'm cussing. I'm so pissed off. I'm like, oh, my God, no! Like, just cussing, right? Well, the whole town can hear in Honduras. Like, the walls don't have any insulation. So they just think that the giant gringo is going around killing everybody. They're not watching football. They don't know what's going on, right? They just hear me screaming cuss words in English. They're like, oh my God. So the neighbors came over, dude, with guns and a shovel, and they were ready to
God.
Oh yeah. They were going to kill me, dude. They were like, oh yeah, is the giant gringo killing people over here? Because we'll put him in the dirt. They were ready to bury me, dude. I was like,
wow.
Yeah, because of Raheem. So I'm like, okay, the Broncos are going to be the death of me one way or another, right? That's just
amen to that one.
Right? So luckily, my father, no, he's okay. He's just watching the Broncos. Like he's just this bad thing. So it goes into double overtime. Whatever, they lose. I'm like, I gotta
Yep.
go for a walk, and I step outside, and they grab me, and they're like, nope. You are not walking anywhere by yourself right now.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my introduction to Honduras.
Have you done it since?
And literally the very next day was because that game was on a Saturday. It was, division round Saturday game. And so the very next day, my brother-in-law was like, "Okay, we're gonna go play soccer." Like I said, I didn't know what was going. I hear soccer, we're gonna play soccer, so I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I get ready to play soccer. No, we're gonna go watch a soccer match across the river. Well, the way I say the story is that I went to a gunfight and a soccer match broke out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. These did not like each other. They're like one on one side of the river and one on the other side. Apparently, they are not friends. And it was a hard foul, gunfight. Yeah, I thought somebody was going to get shot, dude. They got the guns out. They were firing them in the air and at people's feet. And fists were flying. It was wild, dude. And so I'm just like, oh my God, this is where I'm gonna die. In this country is where I'm going to die.
Well, I've never been to Honduras, but I will remember if I ever get the privilege to go, which you never know nowadays, but if I ever get the privilege to go, I will make sure not to be watching the Denver Broncos game. If I am, I'll make sure my wife reminds me not to yell because I don't want to be a victim of death.
Well, death will find you there. Death is just around the corner everywhere you go in Honduras, brother.
That's sad. I'm sure it is, yeah.
Other than my wife being there, there's no way in hell I would ever go there.
Wow.
I mean, since then I've been back 7 times since then, so it's kind of like my country now. But I don't recommend gringos going at all. But yeah, that's my introduction. That was my introduction to Honduras. So.
That's actually entertaining. Not, I'm not saying that, I'm all for trying to potentially murder somebody, but but no, keeping it, of course. We have a whole summer to talk of this, and I'm just gonna pick your brain real quick. I still think Drew Lock's 2021 starting quarterback. I know all the haters out there are probably giving me the finger, and that's perfectly fine. I'll take it. Who do you think's going to win? Do what?
That was meant for the guy in traffic. Sorry.
I'm sure it was.
He's looking at me sideways now. I'm giving you the finger, and he's looking at me like, I'm sorry. Okay, never mind. Carry on.
Well, if he gets out of the car, just let him know that that this moron from Oklahoma is talking Drew Lock.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He may have to forgive you.
Yeah, he'll be on my side.
Yeah, he will be.
I'm sorry. I thought you were Drew Lock. That's why I flipped you off. Sorry, my
bad. God. Pending we don't obviously make any major trade for a quarterback, a.k.a. Aaron Rodgers. Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock, early, way too early prediction. Who do you think is going to be the starting quarterback for 21?
Okay, man. In my heart of hearts, I do not believe that the quarterback is on the team yet. I do believe that we are going to trade for a quarterback. However, having said that, because you posed the question, I will say that I believe Teddy Bridgewater will be the quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah.
So should I go ahead and jump on a Teddy Bridgewater jersey? Because my jerseys in my closet has not turned out so well.
No.
Besides one, that's Peyton Manning.
Yeah, no. If I were you, I wouldn't buy a jersey unless it's the number 2.
Oh, yes.
Surtain is
Patrick Surtain. That dude's gonna ball out.
He's so dope, dude. And he's just cool, man. He's rocking the number 2 jersey too this year. It's so cool. I just think he's cool.
No, KJ Hamler, I think he went to number 1. And who's wearing 30? I saw someone on the pictures wearing 30. Who's wearing 30?
Oh,
you know?
I think it's a defensive player. Man, I do remember. Like, if somebody told me who it was, I would be like, yep. But I don't remember.
See, I don't either.
I want to say it's a safety. I think it's one of the rookie safeties. I want to say it's the guy from Texas.
Oh, that could be, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's who I think got number 30.
That
but
kid
I could be
from Indiana, I think he's a safety. He might be a corner. That dude's a ball hawk. I mean, he plays the ball. And I'm glad he admitted that he needs to work on his tackling, which I saw some highlights. He just can't finish tackling.
Really?
So, at least he admits it. I mean, I'll give him credit. I can't think of Jan Johnson or something like that.
Yeah. If he wants to play in this defense, you can't have guests, as they say, on defense. There's no guess. Everybody has to stick. And so that guy's going to learn a lot on special teams, I think.
I think that's what he was known for at Indiana. I don't know much about Indiana football, but from what I heard, I believe he's more special teams than he was in the secondary.
Well, I think we're going to see – I think the whole second half of the draft, you could look at it and say, okay, special teamer, special teamer, special teamer, special teamer, special teamer. And which I am all for. I'm glad. We need to.
I am too, yeah.
Our special teams is just generic as hell. And so I hope we upgraded our special teams with this draft. Which in my heart, I believe that we did. I think we're gonna have a great special teams this year. Quietly great.
No, I thought George Payton did wonderful in the draft.
Speaking of special teams, man, did you hear about this punter we just signed?
No, I did not. When was this, today?
I think it was yesterday. Blake Riley, I think his name is. He was the Ray Guy Award winner in 2018 or 2019. Maybe 2019. He was the Ray Guy Award winner out of Kentucky.
Wow.
He's 28 years old, but I guess the word around the campfire on the radio is that he was punting the shit out of the ball. And it was just obvious that he is something else.
So what you're telling me is Sam Martin should be a little scared?
I don't think we resign. I think Sam Martin might be relocating.
Wow.
Yes, it would not shock me. Especially, we're clearing room, man. Why do the Broncos have? I think it's either second or third most cap space in the NFL right now. What are they saving that second, yeah. What are they saving the cap space for? If it isn't for a quarterback.
Well, Julio Jones wants to be traded.
There was word around that Julio coming to Denver.
I heard that too. That's why I had to say that, because I wasn't for sure if you heard that. I have the app, the fans app. And of course, a lot of people, don't really think highly of him, but I enjoy listening to him, especially out of state. But but anyway,
I listen to the fan all the time. By the way, that's.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, I love him.
I love Schlereth, and like I said, Cecil Lammey. I've known that guy since I was 6 years old. So. No,
Mark Sareth I like him. He's a good dude. Be kind of dope to get him on the show, though, podcast.
Oh, dude, Mark Schlereth?
That would be pretty dope. If I would ever get him, anybody from mid-fan, I'd be getting you on as a man. That would be awesome.
Schlereth is so cool. He's one of my favorite all-time Broncos as well.
Oh, well, by far, yeah.
Yeah, because, he's just such a cool and funny guy, and so down to earth. And
What I really like about him, he's playing it from a non-biased standpoint. He just says it as it is, and I think that's what turks a lot of these Bronco fans. That he's bashing. No, that's exactly how it really should honestly be. I don't know how he really truly feels. I mean, he may be on the side, away from the mic, and he may think a whole different thing. But hey, guess what? He's getting the clickbaits, as they always say. He's getting the clickbaits. So,
I think Schlereth he's a genuinely straight person. Like he's going to be genuine to himself forever. And
he's a
that's
good dude.
He's going to do on the air or at the kitchen table. So I think that Schlereth is one of my favorites. But I mean, if you want cheerleaders, there's another app you can download is a KOA app. You can go on there and you can listen to cheerleaders all day long.
Nah, that's after a while,
I'm not a fan of the cheerleading, man.
No, I get enough around here from our local sports radios. I'm not going to say who. There's only 2 of them, so pick your guess. But no, I'm good on that one.
Yeah, I'm not a bit. I mean, I like objective. Even though everybody as a fan loves the Broncos. They want the Broncos to be great. It's way more fun when the Broncos are great. It's good radio. It makes for awesome radio. It's not fun to bash on the quarterback all the time. It's not what we want to do. But we have to be objective.
Mm-hmm.
And we can only go by what like Brandon Stokely says. The NFL stands for what have you done for me lately?
Yep. It's a business. That's all this is.
Exactly. And so if you come out and you're the worst quarterback in the NFL last year, hey, what are we gonna do? We can't throw in a parade because you were shabby,
Well, right before I started this podcast, I got a notification. I laughed at it. I'm sure you're gonna laugh at it. Maybe not. You may laugh on the inside because I don't want people thinking you're a psychotic guy that's flipping people off on the on the highway in Denver. But someone, I don't know who, because I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline, and that was it, notification. But I'll have to figure out who wrote it. But someone wrote a piece of their bold prediction for the 2021 Denver Broncos from NFL.com. You want to know what it was?
Bold prediction is that they go 11-7 or 11-6.
That would be nice. Whoever wrote it, now, like I said, I'll send it to you. Wrote it that we will actually end the Kansas City Chiefs' reign in the AFC West this year.
Whoa, that is bold.
Dude, exactly. And that's why I want to figure out who wrote it, because I want to be like, would you be interested in coming on? Because I really, unless he or she explains it in the piece, would love to know why he or she thinks that.
Look, I love making bold predictions in May, my man. I mean, it's easy. It's easy to say that we're going to do this and we're going to do that in May. It's hard when what do they have to lose? There's nothing.
They have nothing to lose.
You know what I mean? So you can make bold predictions all day long. It's nothing. Like today, I was listening to the podcast, the Joe Rogan podcast with Tyson, and he was talking about questions and what kind of questions that don't have answers, right? And questions that aren't real, that don't have any that are fake. They're fake questions. For example, if the moon is made out of cheese, what kind of cheese is the moon made out of? Is it Gouda, or is it goat cheese, or is it mozzarella? Well, when you get up there and you realize that it's not made out of cheese at all, you realize that your question was just bogus, right? So ultimately, that's how I think about predictions in May in the NFL. Like at the end of the day, when you realize that you were so far off base, like And if you do get it right, if it is gouda or cheese that the moon is made out of, okay, you get to pat yourself on the back. You get to throw your arm out, pat yourself on the back, right? So what are they for, honestly, other than just to say, like, okay, like, the Broncos have a decent team that might shock some people? I mean, I guess that's the underlying message here, is what kind of team do we have? Do we have a team that could shock the Chiefs? Maybe. I guess you could say that. Do you believe that we have a team that can shock some people?
I think we have a team. Excuse me. I think we have a team that. I think my bold prediction right now. I mean, obviously it's way early, but I love making bold predictions, especially May and June and some parts of July, because it makes you look like a moron at the end of the year. But Zach, my thing, I think we'll make the playoffs, but
you do.
I don't. Now, see, I think we have a decent team. I don't think we have a great team. Now, if we had a quarterback, if we were solidified at quarterback, we won't be division champs this year, but we would make a lot of noise.
So if we got Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, God. Hey, if we get Aaron Rodgers, dude, I'm going to send us to the Super Bowl, and by God, we better win that effing thing.
So what would you give up for Aaron Rodgers?
I'm still not going 3 first-round picks, though.
Well, why not? Okay, listen. What you just said is like the moon made out of cheese thing, right? Is that if we got Aaron Rodgers, it's Super Bowl or bust. But
yeah, you have to exactly, yeah.
What would you give up for that? I mean, if it's Super Bowl or bust, nothing is off the table.
See, I would do – well, first of all, see, what scares me is what if Aaron Rodgers jumps off a cliff in Hawaii and now injures himself for the rest of the whole life after you make a trade? Then you lost out. No, jokes aside, I mean, that stuff may or may not happen. I don't know. I mean, realistically, I would go 2 first rounds. I would then include – I don't know how much value you would get out of him, though. Tim Patrick. I still would send Bradley Chubb before I still think his injuries are worse than what they're making out to be.
Yeah, he didn't participate in OTAs this week.
Exactly. I would honestly trade him if possible because I don't know. I ain't going to lie. Now, with Bradley Chubb, I am concerned because it sounds like he can't stay healthy. I would have to include him just to at least try to get some worth out of him.
There's talk.
I would probably do 2 first, a second, and a third. Tim Patrick and Bradley Chubb.
Okay. So that's a lot. I mean, obviously, like I said,
and Bradley Chubb really is just to, kind of see if he can get healthy in the future. I mean, I don't know. He's more of a risk at this point. But see, but his contract runs up, I think, at the end of this year too. So there's a good chance we may not even re-sign him anyway if he can't stay healthy.
I think we picked up his 5th-year option. So,
did we?
Yeah, it's going to be at the end of next year. I don't know. I would give up Chubb for Aaron Rodgers. Listen, nothing is off the table, but I don't think you have to give up that much. It wouldn't shock me if a trade does go down and the compensation looks like, oh my, that's all we gave up. That might be our reaction. Our initial reaction might be, wow, that's it? That's all we gave up for him?
There's at least going to be at least 2 first-rounders involved. I don't know if they'll go to 3. I still think, realistically, you might be able to see the 2 first rounds go in.
I think if you see 2 first-rounders, it might just be that. It might be a first and a second and maybe a third the following year.
And George Payton may tell, Green Bay, hey, we get he's a league MVP. We get he's a Super Bowl champion. We get, he's going to be one of your guys' top legends behind Bart Starr and Brett Favre and so on. We get that. But realistically, and George Payton may tell him, I don't know. He may not, for all I know. But let's look at the bright side. He's also 37.
Yep.
I just don't want to give up a ton for a guy that may not pan out. He may get hurt in one play, and then that's that. We don't know. That's a risk. That's the Russian roulette that you take on any trade or any draft player or anybody for that matter. But
absolutely. Well, he also cost like $35 million against the cap.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Green Bay has to eat some of that money too. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, why do we have so much cap space? What are we saving it for? It makes we're making the pieces fit right there.
I still think Aaron Rodgers gets traded. When that was it, just June 1st or was it July 1st? They can start trading him.
I think June 1st.
So that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's June 1st is the day. Is that magical cap space day?
I still think June. It won't probably be June 1st, but I still think sometime in June, I still think Aaron Rodgers will be traded.
Yeah, and he's going to get traded to the Denver Bronco.
Do you think he'll go back home to Cali, to San Francisco?
No, he's coming to Denver, man. That's my bold prediction. I don't even think that's a bold prediction.
I don't think so either. I think Denver's the only realistic team.
Yeah.
I would say New Orleans, but New Orleans is so much in the hole money cap wise that I don't think they can even afford them.
You can't afford them. No, you can't. So that's the point.
Now, can Las Vegas afford them?
I don't think so, man.
Unless you trade off Carr.
Who's going to take that contract? You're going to trade one big contract for another? Nah, man.
Good.
Nope. The only team that makes sense is the Denver Broncos.
Well, I think that's the only team at this point that can actually afford them.
That's exactly right.
So,
I mean, it makes the most sense, right? Everything makes sense.
I just hope we don't give up our offensive weapons for him. Because can you imagine Rodgers throwing to Hamler and Noah Fant and Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick and Jerry Jeudy, and the list goes on and on. Oh my God!
Yes.
This team might contest. This team will contest the 2013 Broncos offensively.
I mean, why not?
Well, like I said, I'm all in on the Rodgers. I know I tweeted out I wouldn't. I still wouldn't do 3 first rounds. I think that's outrageous. But I would do at least 2. I mean, but no. I mean, if we can give, like I said, I'm all for it. And people are like, well, you're a retard. Okay, well, I'm probably am. I wouldn't be surprised at that either. But
wow.
I wouldn't trade a whole ton of them for him. I mean, my trade proposal probably is outrageous to some, I'm sure. But I mean, trust me, I want another banner in my room that says Super Bowl champs, and maybe at least 2 more with Rodgers. But I just want to beat Kansas City, dude.
Dude, that's all I want right now. I'll get a hat that says 1-1 versus Kansas City this year.
Exactly.
I'll get a hat made up for that.
Well, a buddy of mine who just got married a few weeks back, Jared, he's a big Chiefs fan. I swear to God, dude, I'm getting sick and tired of him bragging about this every freaking year, dude.
Well, it's easy for him to brag, right? Like, I remember how easy it was for me to brag.
Oh, absolutely.
2015.
Yep.
I was waving that flag, my man.
Yeah, I still got my Super Bowl 50 champs car flag still at my car. I put it up every Sunday.
Did you really? Hey,
sometimes when I don't forget.
I think it's great. I mean, we have look. It was so weird because I went to the parade, and the parade it was really fun, and there was a lot of people, and it was a blast. And the whole time I'm thinking, this is the end of an era. Like,
oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's a celebration, but I just knew it was over, right? Like everything was over. That was the climax, and it was it was just over after that. And I just felt that feeling of like, oh no, now what? Now what are we gonna do now? And I don't remember why I felt so sad during that parade, but I think that was why. I just knew that that was the end of an era. And it feels, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of feels like the beginning of a new one right now.
No, I agree with you one way or another. I think George Payton says it's going to be a new era regardless, whether it is an Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I get that. I still think he has at least 3 years at least probably left. Depends on how healthy he can stay beyond that, and how his playing skills are. But regardless, I think it's a new era. I agree with you. Whether it's an Aaron Rodgers era, and I know as much as people hate saying it could be a Drew Lock era. Maybe they just going to run with this guy and hope for the best. I mean, I really don't know, but we'll see come OTAs. But anyway,
it's funny when you say that, right? It's hard.
I mean, that's really what it's come down to. It's either going to be Aaron Rodgers or it's going to be Drew Lock. It's just I don't know. I like Bridgewater. I wasn't a huge fan of him at Louisville. I know that for sure.
I like him.
But I think it's going to be Drew Lock, or obviously Bridgewater can easily be a starter. Not knocking him at all. It's going to be a new era, regardless. It's going to be Lock. I mean, I guess you could say Bridgewater, if need be, and Rodgers. I think it's going to come down to those three.
Yeah, it just the youth, and it just feels like the turnover. It's just a perfect time for a new era to begin. Look at this roster. I think you're going to have guys on this roster that are going to be bricks in the next great Broncos team. And this great Broncos team has begun. It might, like you said earlier, it might not be this year, but we're definitely on the verge.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to, mark us in as a, buddy of mine. And Dan, I always give Dan a hard time. He's a host of the Time to BS podcast. I always give him a hard time. Last year, I absolutely made fun of him. And I'll tell you why I made fun of him. He had Denver go into the AFC Championship game against Buffalo.
Oh, wow.
And I told him, we was, on the, I think he does Skype. But we were Skype. I said, dude, really? He says, you don't like that? I said, I appreciate that you think highly of Denver. But I said, realistically, we're still inconsistent at the quarterback position.
Yes.
And we still got to somehow find a way to beat Kansas City. But it was mind blowing that we were. I mean, I appreciate the consideration. No, we won't be obviously we're not no championship team this year unless we get a potential Aaron Rodgers. Then you would have to throw us in the mix. But I think it's really good. Would you say? And I'll have a few questions before we end the show, but.
Yeah.
Would you say that we would this could be like the next late 90s team? Because if you think about it, you can not compare us. I'm not saying that about oh, you're comparing Shannon Sharp, Noah Fant. No, I'm not. I'm just saying put the two, in their positions. You could have a Cortland Sutton, if you want to compare it to a Rod Smith or whatever. But you have you have a Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant in replacement of. Back in those days, you had a Ed McCaffrey, you had a Rod Smith, you had Shannon Sharp. In the backfield, I think I'm not. Melvin Gordon, hopefully, I hope he has a good year, a breakout year. I love that Williams kid from North Carolina, though.
Yes. Yeah. I think that we are a offensive coordinator away from that.
They definitely need to fire Pat Shurmur, though. That was a horrible hire.
Listen, man. Today Sheriff was talking about fans. His second one is a run the ball to get a first down. It isn't a let's go deep and see if we can get them over the top. It was a we're going to knock you into the dirt. And we're going to make you get up off the ground and do it 2 or 3 more times because we know we're going to get a first down. And I agree with that mentality. That mentality is gone on the Denver in the play calling. We need to go back to running the ball to establish an identity.
Yes, sir, right there.
And to be mean, you know what I mean, and just take people's. So the Broncos could take your soul away in the first quarter of football games and never throw the ball one time. And that was the late '90s team.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to use Edward Captain. You didn't have to use Rod Smith. You didn't have to use Shannon. What you did, they were run blocks first. And they knew they were going to establish the run again. They were going to lead down, and then they were going to go to the top. Then they were going to flip your heart out over the top. That was the Denver Bronco of the '90s, of the late '90s. If we want to, we could go back. We have the team. I think we have the pieces in place to do that. Do we have the mentality to do that? I don't.
I just know one thing, and I know Peyton Manning's working with Drew Lock, and that's cool, fun, and all. If we don't make a trade for Aaron Rodgers, I sure hope we see some consistency and and improvement with Drew, though. I will say that.
I just don't think he beats Bridgewater.
Will we hear Omaha?
I don't know.
No.
Didn't he do that last year? Bridgewater did that last year, right?
I think he did, yeah. I think he actually did it against us, didn't he?
I think so. It's been a long time since I've seen that game, but yeah, I think he did.
Last two questions, of course. Last two topics, I should say. Full capacity. NFL's looking like it sounds like it's going to be full capacity at the stadiums, and I sure hope so because I would love to be in Denver this year. If it's full capacity, are you going to a game this year?
No. Nope.
Still too early? I'm not playing the political games. This is from your personal standpoint.
Has nothing to do with the pandemic. I'd rather watch a game on TV, but
oh, well, same here, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't go to games. I've been to like 5 games in the last maybe 10 years.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not really go to a game guy.
I will say this: the games I prefer to watch at home, if I can actually sit still and not lose interest, is baseball and basketball.
Oh yeah, listen, man, I'm a baseball guy. I know that sounds weird coming from me, but that's my sport.
Yeah, I love baseball.
I love it too, man. That is where that's my happy place.
I love to catch a Rockies game, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, we have the best. Coors Field is the best stadium in Major League Baseball, in my opinion. Of course, I've only been to like 5 stadiums my whole life, but Coors Field is my favorite.
I've been to one besides the one here in Oklahoma City. That don't count because it's on Major League Baseball. But I've been to one, and that was obviously Chase Field a few weeks back. But
how was that? Did you go to a game?
Yeah, actually pretty. We actually watched Colorado. No, it was actually a good environment, good experience, I should say. Not so much environment. Well, the environment wasn't bad, but now my oldest son, he enjoyed it. Of course, it's both of our Major League Baseball debuts, if you will. But no, it was. I enjoyed it, and I know he did for sure. No, it was. Give props to the Diamondbacks organization. They had it was a great time, and the ballpark's amazing. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was. I'm not going to lie, but I didn't think it was small, but it's a good-sized ballpark.
Oh, it feels to me, because I've been to that one too. I actually went to the All-Star game there in Arizona. I won tickets to the All-Star game through the fan. But so they sent me down there, and I got to stay in Scottsdale, whatever. But yeah, I went down there to Arizona. It feels like a warehouse inside. Like
yes, it does.
Doesn't it?
Yep. And and actually, they kept the door, the roof was closed, and so which made it more feel like more like it's really just interesting because you're used to baseball obviously being outside, so it's like this is cool, but this is really kind of interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I loved the All-Star game because that was so. By the way, we get the All-Star game here this year. That's gonna be
Yeah,
nice. I would love to win tickets to that again. I would much rather go to the. Listen, so I know I'm going off on a tangent talking about baseball right now and the All-Star game, but the best part of the All-Star game experience for me was batting practice before the game. They opened the doors and let us come in like 6 hours before the game.
dude, I'll be there if they did that.
It was so cool. Oh, it was so, and you could go anywhere you wanted. Like you didn't have to stick to your ticket. So we went right down front row, and dude, Miguel Cabrera put on an absolute show. It was so awesome. He hit a 500-foot bomb to left. He hit a 500-foot bomb to center, and then a 500-foot bomb to right in three consecutive pitches. I'm like, oh my god, that is so awesome. But yeah, those guys are they're so awesome, man. Baseball is so cool.
No, I enjoy baseball. Of course, the last month or the last few weeks I haven't watched too much, but hopefully Memorial Day weekend I'll be able to watch some. I will say this last topic, and I'm sorry we're gonna have to bring him up, but Clyde, Tim Tebow Mania is it's back in the NFL. When I heard that Tim Tebow signed, I thought it was cool. I mean, I don't know, what his his agenda is, but no, I think it's pretty cool. He's back at home, technically where it all started, with his old college coach, and
yep.
I mean, I don't think he's going to play much, but maybe he will. I don't really know. But regardless, do you like the 1 year bare minimal signing?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, how many? Listen, he's already sold how many 85 Tebow?
A lot more. Yep.
Obviously, just for that reason alone is worth the signing, right? And we're talking about the Jaguars in May in Colorado, in Oklahoma, but we're talking about the Jaguars in May right now. When was the last time you talked about the Jaguars in May? So I mean, it's Trevor Lawrence's team. Let's not forget. But
well, of course, yeah.
But Tim Tebow can bring a lot of notoriety to the team, and I mean, honestly, when you're trying to change, like this is a new era, right? Like I was just talking about eras in Denver. When you're trying to establish a new era in Jacksonville, especially, who's better to bring in than Tim Tebow, if not just for a camp body?
Dude, I mean, my thing is, I mean, let's be honest. If he gets to the goal line, we all know it's going to be Tim Tebow.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? Like put Tim in the backfield with
Wildcat, and
let him run some RPO.
Dude, that'd be nice.
Dude, come on, man.
I'm not rooting against him. I hope he does well. I hope he makes a team and scores a few touchdowns. I mean, I'm not, going to sit here and say he's going to be the comeback player of the year, but no, I hope he does well.
I do too. I love Tim. Tim is great. He's a goofball. He's kind of a nerd, but
I'm sure. Yeah.
Dude, I used to have dreams that Tim Tebow was my best friend.
Did you really?
I was a grown-ass man.
Nice.
Old plus, dude. And I was like having dreams that dude was my best friend. And I would wake up like, oh man, it's not real. Damn. Like I wish Tim Tebow was my best friend. And I'm not the only Broncos fan that had those dreams. I guarantee it. There were other dudes that used to have dreams where they would wake up like, oh man, Tim Tebow isn't really my best friend. Shut up.
Well, I do have two of. I think Tim Tebow has 3 books out. I know I have 2. I haven't read them though, but I do have them.
Honestly, I didn't know he could read, but I do. I'm not gonna. Tim Tebow is not. He wouldn't be my phone a friend on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Okay, let's just establish something real quick. He wouldn't be my phone. He'd be my best buddy, but he wouldn't be my phone a friend.
Well, if I had to pick Tim for something, he's gonna be my Wipeout. Have you ever seen the show Wipeout?
Oh yeah, of course.
He's my partner in that. Lord forbid he ain't gonna fall.
Oh my dude, Tim Tebow would be the ultimate Wipeout contestant.
Oh, he would be, seriously. That dude would absolutely rock that thing out.
It's so funny that you say that. That is so funny that you say that.
Well, I'm gonna end the show on this. I do have a Tim Tebow jersey, and I kid you not, and honest to God truth, when Denver would trail, and I don't remember what games they were, I would actually put that on, and actually we would actually come back and win. I kid you not.
Yeah, it was such a weird year, right? That whole
Dude, that was insane.
Yeah, there was something about it. Was magic. It was magic.
That was a God thing that year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all those dreams I had were like Sunday after like comeback victories. Like, I wake up Monday morning like, man, we still won, but he's not my best buddy. But I still, anyway. Yes, he was that guy. He's that guy, man. I don't know what it is. He's just a gamer.
No, I like overall. I mean, obviously, I don't know him personally, but from what I see and from what he posts and all that, no, he's a good guy, and I wish him all the best.
Yeah, me too. I'm just glad he's not a virgin anymore. Bro, imagine. Have you seen? You know who his wife is?
Oh yeah.
Holy moly.
Yep.
Never mind. I'm not gonna go.
I'm not gonna.
Different podcast.
That's a whole nother show.
But can you imagine the first time being there?
Well, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I don't know her at all from Adam.
In South Africa, right? He had like an army, like a safari, and like he had like African singers, and it was like this big extravaganza when he proposed to her. Have you heard about this?
I believe so.
Yeah. So you know the opening scene of Coming to America, where like that he proposed to his wife like the opening scene of Coming to America. Yeah.
Oh God.
I got married on my way to get my license plates renewed. That like he's just on another level, bro. Like I can't. He's way. How am I gonna hate on that guy?
No, you can't hate the guy. He's just trying. I mean, not my fault the New York Mets didn't allow him to give him a chance. I mean, they suck enough, but
Well, they also think he's right-handed.
Well,
like,
Mets,
try with your strong arm. He's like, no, I'm left-handed. Like, we think you're right-handed. No, no, Tim Tebow, he's awesome. I really do. I hope he's good for the league, and he's definitely good for that team.
Nah, he means well. And he's a good guy, and We'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. We shall.
All right. Hey, I appreciate you coming on as always, my brother.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I love doing these. So anytime, like I saw you posted, hey, you want to come on my podcast? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking, sweet. First time in about roughly 4 weeks. I haven't been busy on the wings. I'm thinking, I've got to at least do something here.
Yeah, I'm glad we did this, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, not a problem. And I was thinking if you'd be up for it, who knows? Maybe this fall we can tag team these things together and get some football talk. Because I'm sure we'll have a lot longer shows once football gets going.
Cool, man. Well, I hope so. That'd be cool.
Hey, man, as always, Clyde, thank you for joining.
Yes, sir.
Everyone, you've been listening to the Air Raid Attack podcast. As always, Mr. Clyde, the man from Denver. Of course, he's currently driving. Hopefully he's staying safe, but give him a follow. At Clyde Diesel 444. Do what?
I'm driving fast and taking chances.
Well, hopefully you haven't flipped nobody else off.
Nope. It is the whole time. I didn't even swear hardly.
Take it easy, my man.
Thanks, man. Later, buddy.
Later. Everyone, you've been listening to the Air Raid Attack podcast on the Unhinged Sports Network. Download us on iTunes, iHeart, and Google. And you all have a great and safe Memorial Day weekend.